Welcome to a lesson with Dr. Powell. Now we're going to look at step 2 of graphing this fraction of polynomials, often called a rational function. Rational for nice fraction, but nice fraction of two polynomials. So in step 1, we graph this, which was done by thinking of the division as multiplication instead. Now for step 2, we're going to look at far or end behavior or far away behavior. And step 3, we'll look at up close or local behavior. So really we go polynomial for step 1, step 2 will be end behavior, and step 3 will be local behavior. So let's look at end behavior. What does that mean? Well, the way we figure out end behavior is we figure out what this will be looking like far away. This right here is a fraction of two different polynomials. If we wanted to, we could even think about a division problem. If we were to multiply the bottom out, x squared minus 2x and positive 3x become a plus x, minus 2 times 3 become a minus 6. Dividing it into x plus 1. Because a fraction is really like a division. Well, let's just notice something here. When we do this division right here, what do we get? Well, x squared, can you really do anything here with this x squared and this x? You can't really. So you're pretty much done. You just write a 0 down. And when you multiply this and you subtract, you get 0. Subtract, you get x plus 1. X plus 1 is the remainder. 0 is the quotient. So if we were to rewrite this as a mixed polynomial, we'd have a 0 plus the remainder over the divisor. It's just itself. But this is important to realize, because if you have a degree that's smaller than a degree that's bigger, as x gets large, this is going to look a lot like an x over x squared, which looks a lot like, if you cancel out a little bit, like a 1 over x, which looks, as x gets big, it looks like very small, which means that the y values of this are actually going to 0. The whole part right here, the quotient. The quotient of this polynomial division is the end behavior, if you set y equal to it. So for this particular example, the end behavior is y equals 0. So this current graph that we have right here, all we need to do, without bending, we need to make sure that whatever we do is we never ever move things across or over to the other side of the x-axis ever, other than what they already are, because this is kind of solid and we just kind of think about this. So you see how we're going down right here? This tells us that we better bend this up to go toward y equals 0. And over here, you see how we're going up? The end behavior just says that in the end, we just need to bend this graph down so it's getting close to y equals 0. But we cannot cross y equals 0. It's a solid line. And that's what we kind of were doing when we graphed this. We graphed something that would stick to the right side, to the correct side of the y-axis the whole time. So we have to obey that. And then to get the end behavior, we just take this quotient of the division, ignoring everything else. Everything else for this fraction is just negligible eventually. That's all this was. It's negligibly small. So really the quotient is the only thing that's important, y equals 0. The graph will just bend to that line. So this was step 2. Thanks for watching.